Today is Wednesday, 18th September 2019, and this is how I welcome you to the midweek edition of the Star Good Morning Show on Star Television. We are broadcasting live on Channel 21 from our Media One Center studios at 3 Mama Street, Brookfields, Freetown. I am your presenter, Sienna Wright. Our inspirational quote for today is from Mae West, and it says, "You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough." Top stories in the program today. The management of the Freetown Terminal Service Bolori has on Tuesday, 17th September 2019, updated media practitioners on the delivery of their units and departments on the company's operational activities. The Sierra Leone Bar Association has on Tuesday, September 17th, 2019, updated media practitioners and members of civil societies on what they describe as lapses in internal security in the recent past, including human rights violation and the rule of law at the Harry Yansin Hall in Freetown. The National Youth Commission, with support from the African Development Bank, has on Monday, 16th September 2019, organized a training for various youth organizations with the theme Youth Entrepreneurship and Employment Program at the Global Youth Network for Employment and Development of Tengbetown, Freetown. We shall bring you currency and weather updates. And also with me in the studio is Fantasy Weeds, the brand ambassador of Audio Africa. Hello Fantasy Weeds, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Tiana.
And also joining me is Patrick Adu, an actor, a producer, and a writer. Welcome to the show, Patrick.
Good morning.
You guys are looking really nice this morning. I love the Africana thing.
You look good too.
Okay. You can be part of this program by sending us your messages on +232 8810 500 or commenting below our Facebook Live video. Don't forget, the Star Good Morning Show is proudly sponsored by Rokel Commercial Bank.
SimCorp allow old and young to make deposit and withdraw cash from their account at any time and anywhere. With Rokel Commercial Bank SimCorp, you can send and receive money at any place and any time. Rokel Commercial Bank don't make life better for we all.
Well, we now go in for our first insert. The Sierra Leone Bar Association has on Tuesday, September 17th, 2019, updated media practitioners and members of civil societies on what they describe as lapses in internal security in the recent past, including human rights violation and the rule of law at the Harry Yansin Hall in Freetown. Julian Koma was in attendance and he filed in this report.
Robert Kawa, president of the Sierra Leone Bar Association, gave an overview on the composition of the executive, adding that the association, however, highlighted some disturbing trends in the areas of human rights abuse, lapses in the state internal security, and the spate of violence countrywide.
Personally, we discuss with them and we make our contribution and see how best these issues can be handled. As an association and an executive, we are yet to face the problems you are talking about. Most of those we've been engaging are very receptive, and we've seen a lot of changes. The Bar Association is still dialoguing with NEC, and as you've heard from the press briefing, as to support their position in cancelling the elections. However, we are not interpreting the laws. The Supreme Court is there to interpret the law. And what we are saying is that the election rules, we are yet to see where such provisions are. We know you can cancel certain for overvoting, but when it comes to election violence, I think it's a lacuna in the electoral laws, which must be handled. The investigation is on. And if that is the situation, we condemn that. It's an allegation, and that is being investigated. And after the investigation or the report by the committee, definitely we'll be in a better position to come out with something concrete. But the allegations, I think if it is true, then it is wrong. The days of violence are over,
He cited also the beating of female journalists during the international football encounter between Lone Stars of Liberia and Leone Star of Sierra Leone, allegedly by the bodyguards of President Julius Maada Bio, for which he says the association is currently looking. Present during the news conference were representatives from the National Electoral Commission, NEC, Office of the National Security, ONS, and the Director of Operation at the Anti-Corruption Commission, who were questioned by journalists on their statutory mandate in maintaining peace and order, including the cancellation of the rerun election in the constituency 110 by the National Electoral Commission.
Gentlemen, under the leadership of Mamadou Fali Conte and the Board of Commissioners, we cannot give account of an election that's erupted in violence, chaos and anarchy. Let us talk to the political parties. Let them comport themselves in the best way manner. Whether you are rats or key, we don't care. If there is confusion in this room and we want to conduct election, we will take our property. If there is chance to take it, if not, we run away. We are not going to police ourselves. The security apparatus are responsible to provide adequate security and to regulate the affairs of political parties. It is not our terms of reference. We are also not responsible for that.
For now, we may not want to get into investigations because there are ongoing investigations into all of those developments. Some of them are even in court as we speak. And as the lawyers say, they are sub judice and we cannot speak on them. We cannot go into them. We cannot go into details about them. But then we keep them in active view. We are as much concerned about them and we are as much interested in them as you are. We await.
The commissioner and his team are more than ever before very determined to actually ensure that the assignment that is being given us by you, whose monies are used to pay us, will carry them out to the best of our ability and our capabilities. You may have heard of a more recent raid that was carried out on Saturday.
It could be recalled that the Sierra Leone Bar Association, since elected on the 6th July 2019 as part of their statutory responsibility, are yearning for a formidable and consultative bar that will strategically position itself to address not only issues affecting its membership, but also those of national concerns. Robert Kawa, president of the bar, committed in upholding the rule of law and to build a formative relationship with the Sierra Leone judiciary. Reporting for Star TV, I am Julian.
Thank you very much, Julian Koroma, for that comprehensive report. You're still with the Star Good Morning Show on Star Television Network on Channel 21. And the time from our studio clock is exactly 12 minutes past 9. So we come to you, Fantasy Wiz. Let's assume that 90% of people out there know you. Yeah. But for the 10% who don't know you, can you tell us who Fantasy Wiz is?
Fantasy Wiz is a folk singer, activist, children's ambassador of poets, an actor, and also the brand new ambassador for Ojo Africa.
Okay. And speaking of folk singers, they're not really common in Sierra Leone.
Yes.
Same way as folk songs.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to become a folk singer?
For me, I feel like there's a lot of things that this generation that we're lacking, that we don't know. In as much as this generation is lacking all of that, I think the kids that are coming after us are clueless and don't know anything about our folk songs. And we've got a lot of beautiful folk songs in Sierra Leone. So I took it upon myself that, you know what, I want to do, I love music. I want to do music. Everyone think business, music is business. Yes, it is business. It's about money. But for me, it's a lot more than money. For me, it's about doing something. It's about touching lives. It's about touching people. It's about changing lives and changing the narratives. And for me, me choosing to do folk music, when a lot of people look at me like, you're so young, why do you want to do folk music? I mean, like, look at your swag, for example. And that's ridiculous. Like, you don't look like someone who would do folk music. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to change your idea about folk music. I'm going to keep it because, culture is not static. which means it's not like it evolves, but at the end of the day, you have to keep it and make sure that, you know, it's there. So I took it upon myself that, you know what, I'm going to be this young person, crazy person that people think that, you know, is too young to do folk music. I won't do it in a way that it's not just for me. It's for people, you know, for kids that are young and unborn generation yet to come, to preserve our folk music, because it's beautiful. Come on, like, we don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose it anyway, so yeah.
So how long have you been doing folk music, and do your fans appreciate your songs?
Well, they do, yeah. Yeah, they do. And I could tell you, I think I still remember my first single was Valentine's Day 2015, and the song was called Kumbaya. And at first, you know, people were wary about it, like they don't know how to react to it and that sort of thing. But so far, so good. Like it has been like really good. You know, sometimes people do measure when it comes to music, they tend to measure the success by awards and where you've been able to perform and that sort of thing. So since I started like 2015, I've got like more than like 50 awards, and I've performed like on international stage. You know, I've been to the UK to go and perform multiple times, and these are non-Sierra Leonean audience, and it's over like 5,000 people. And for me, it has been amazing. The journey has been good, and trust me, I keep telling people I wouldn't have been on that stage for, you know, non-Sierra Leonean audience, over 5,000 people, if it were not for folk music.
So with all this appreciation, do you have an album? And if no, do you plan to release one, and when?
Yes, of course. I don't have an album yet out of my folk music, but I'm going to release an album soon. The album is done and ready. It's over 19 tracks. It might be up to 21.
That's a lot.
And that's a lot. It's crazy. But I bet people are going to love it. It's going to be out, you know, digital market obviously, and I'm going to have hard copies also, and it's going to be out, and it's not going to be a secret.
Okay.
It's going to be out.
So let's come into the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
From back then to now, how do you see the entertainment industry going?
For me, I think it's going, it's changed, it's evolving, because back then we don't have, if you have to go to, for example, on e-markets, let's say iTunes and that sort of thing, it'll be difficult for you to have, just type in and get to, find Sierra Leonean songs. For now, we have that. 5 years ago, we didn't have Audio Africa, for example, which is owned by a Sierra Leonean, for example, and he's in America, and it's user friendly for Sierra Leone and Africa as a whole. Audio Africa is like iTunes, it's like Spotify, it's like that sort of thing. So having something like that, like yesterday we were looking at the stats, for example, how many artists are on there, the engagement from America, Nigeria, and all those other countries. It's amazing. And I kept sitting there, I'm like, okay, now someone could be in America, for example, or you could be Australia, which is farther away. You could, just go online and then, just one click away, and you could get a Sierra Leonean song. You could buy it, you could stream it, you could download it. 5 years ago, there was nothing like that. And now you could go on Instagram, for example. You've got Sierra Leonean artists having over 10,000 followers. And for me, 5 years ago, you could barely see Sierra Leonean artists on social media like that. And because for the fact that now things are changing and evolving, and Sierra Leonean artists, like, we're like this with all the other people, regardless of the fact that internet is freaking expensive in Sierra Leone. I mean, like, all the places that I've been to, we've got the most expensive internet, but at the end of the day, we're trying, we're keeping up. So for me, maybe people might say, okay, now because we're not a sell CD again, it's obsolete. If you study IT like I did, when they say something is obsolete, it means that it's gone, dead. The people are not buying, because at the end of the day, when you buy CD, you put it, like, how many times are you going to play it? It's going to start scratching and that sort of thing. But now I'm gonna buy it or download it on my phone. I can listen to it on the go anywhere I want. No itching, no this, except, if my phone got broken, if it's an iPhone, then, definitely when I get a new one, it's definitely going to be there. So for me, I think we're doing amazing, and we're keeping up. And I'm proud of each and every entertainer, to be honest, because now you could go online and watch Sierra Leonean movies. Hoo-hoo.
So what are some of the challenges you think these musicians and entertainers face, and how do you think we can prevent those problems?
I think, in as much as that I'm talking about, I'm a social media person. I always try to talk about that, and I feel like what thing that we know the traditional way of doing things before, but that doesn't mean that we have to stay there. We need to keep up. We as an artist, we need to keep up, because no disrespect to anyone, you could have people listening to your songs at PZ, for example. You could go to St. John, people dancing to your songs. You could go to Lumley, people dancing to your songs. But when you reach to the point where people could actually get your songs, you get some people who say like, I don't know, social media I left there no more. No. For me, the advice that I give people is, if you're an entertainer and you feel like social media is not your thing, pack your bags and go home.
Yeah.
No, you're not ready yet. You're not ready yet, because I know that a lot of people here right now, they don't have the opportunity of having a TV at home to watch us. But guess what? They could go on the internet and watch us.
Because not many people watch local stations.
Thank you. And you don't slack on that, and I feel like we're lacking. And I give like we do have like in March I went to the UK, and I had like it was a theater performance and that sort of thing. We sold, like, the show was sold out. Tickets were out in January, and it was sold out before the 28th of March. So you see,
Yeah.
social media. So I know, like, in as much as like we went on stage, act and do all of those things, but guess what? We won't bother about how many law prints this paper back, law prints this thing. So I'm encouraging like when I talk about entertainment, I call across, it's not just music, it's music, movies, theater, and all, comedy and that sort of thing. Try to digitalize your things, because that traditional way is working, but it's not really working anymore. Try to keep up.
So you've been helping a lot of women and girls. You're an
Yeah.
advocate, a philanthropist, and so much more.
Yeah.
How do you balance all of these things with your music?
It's because I'm working for myself.
Okay.
And trust me, if you want to do what I'm doing, 9 to 5 is not for you. Because in 2015, after I released my fourth single, I was doing 9 to 5. And in the same 2015, I think it was September or October, and I just sit there and I was like, 9 to 5 is not for you, Fantasy. You have to be self-employed. Use your hustle. You know what I mean? Because then it would be after work, then I have to go to the studio, that sort of thing. So which means I do all this other, working with girls and women during the day. So if I'm doing 9 to 5, it don't work for me. So now I'm doing, I've got my own schedule. So now I'll say, you know what? I meet with my girls every day or every other day from, 2 p.m. to 4 or 4 to 6. Or sometimes we take it, late. It depends on the age range of the people that I'm working with. So for me, for now, because I have got my own schedule, okay, today I'm going to the studio. Tomorrow I'm working with the girls. So it works for me.
That's amazing.
Thank
Continue
you.
to stay with us. Let me come to you, Patrick. How long have you been in acting and theatre, and can you take us through a bit of your journey?
Yes, I've been in theatre and acting for a while. Started unofficially while I was going to school, kindergarten, secondary school, of course, the university. Worked with Raymond de Souza George and Desmond Finney, the Charlie Hafners, and did a couple of movies and all that. So I have been around for some time now.
Okay. So what do you think are some of the challenges that people in the movie industry face?
It's a lot. There's a lot of challenges in the movie industry. First of all, I always say the actors, producers, directors need to value themselves. You need to value yourself so people can value you. A lot of time people try to be friendly when they're doing stuff, and when it comes to business, friendly or being friends with people need to wait at the door. You understand? So a lot of the reasons is that people don't really value their work, so we have a problem. If you value your work, you will take some time, write a very good script. If you value your work as a director, you will take your time, have very good cast on your team. You value your work as a camera person. You will take your time to give a very good picture and sound and all that. If you value yourself as an actor, you take your time, understand the script and write. So a lot of these things connect. So that's why I think that's one of the reasons why we still have these challenges and all that.
Okay, what is your view on the way forward for the entertainment sector?
I think we just, like I said, we just need to know that it's a business. Like it's business. There's no way two ways around it. It's business. A lot of superstars out there, they need to beg people to market their stuff. If it's good, it will market itself. You understand? Like if anybody takes 1 minute look at it, they will just say, okay, come, I need you to do this. But if it's not good, then you need to run around to people, hey, I need your help. And so we just need to step up. Like she said, we are moving into the digital age and all that. That is one of the reasons why I think I love to just be with the theatre arts section and make sure we create that change as we go along.
Okay, so take us through some of your success stories.
Success stories, I really think it's kind of very early for me to talk about success stories because the things I have in mind, the things I want to do are really like you can't imagine them. So I don't want to talk about success stories. But for now, I have been into few movies, of course. Educational wise, it's okay. We went through that. I just came back from my course, theatre arts program in Lawrence University, which is one of the reasons why I want to come and revive theatre art in the country. So I think we're getting there.
Okay. Now down to business. What does Target Theatre do? Because that's what you're here for.
Yes. Before the war, theatre art has been a very, very key instrument to society, entertainment, education, communication and all that. But when the war came, everything died out. We know schools closed, every single entertainment stuff died out. And after the war, 11 years after the war, it has been almost impossible for theatre art to come back on its feet. The stage performance and all that. We have a lot of people who do community theatre, radio dramas and all that, but the stages have been very quiet for a while now. That is one of the reasons why Target Theatre, I thought that, okay, well, we need to do something about it, try and revive the arts in the country, try and make sure the stage is reoccupied and make sure we start entertaining the people through live theatre.
Okay, so what roles do you think theatre plays in building the society blocks of unity?
A lot. Some of the roles, the obvious roles they play is that they communicate without fear. Like if there is a social problem, they put it in a play, they communicate that to the stage. Sometimes they mix it up with some humor, make you laugh, but the educational aspect is still there. You learn, you know that, okay, you can laugh all through the play, but when you're driving home, you're walking home, whatever means you go home with, you just continue to think about it and say, oh yes, I think this situation is wrong. Like we are trying to address the rape issue in the country. So when you look at that play, it will make you laugh, but when it makes you laugh, but you will end up thinking like, okay, that's some messed up stuff. We need to stop this and try and see what happens. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Continue to stay with us. Time from our studio clock is exactly 28 minutes past 9, and the management and staff of the Media One Center would like to send their condolences to the bereaved family of Millicent Rhodes. She's like one of our inspirational gospel singers. So let's go in for a quick break and take a look at her video, and we'll also be looking at spoken words from Fantasies.
Put on your garment of praise and worship, and let everything
I wasn't given an option to choose the parents that gave birth to me. Neither did I ask to be born into this world as a girl that's so cruel to me. But if given the opportunity to choose, I'll choose to be born as a girl 10 times over. I'll choose. I love and cherish every bit of me because all I have is me living for me. Shut up, smarty pants. You're too mouthy, rude, and loud. Who told you to speak when not spoken to? No man will marry a girl that speaks when not spoken to. You're supposed to be seen and not to be heard. What man will want to marry a girl they cannot control? Then say married in sweet one noddy. Well, I'd rather stay single and die happy. They say my breasts are too pokey, my dress is too tight, that shows all my curves and make the man wandering into all the wrong places. They say I am an open invitation to rape. They said as a woman, I need to get married to be respected. And when I got married, they say I need to have a child to be called a real woman. When I give birth to a girl, and they say, no, you cannot have a girl. A girl cannot be an heir. She's going to get married someday and end up in another man's house someday. And then I had a boy, and then another boy, and then another boy. Years later, the husband that wanted children so bad cannot even look at me. My breasts are fallen heroes, flabby stomach and stretch marks are clear evidence of bringing life into this world. At the end of the day, I did everything society asked of me. But what did I get in return? Cheating and lying husband. I cry myself to sleep every night. Sleep used to be my sweet escape, but now it's just haunted nightmares and horror. My best friend is my mirror, but recently I cannot even recognize her. So I sit to myself and ask, where is that girl that loved herself so much it suffocates others? Where is that girl that had her head high up in the sky dancing with the stars? Where is that girl?
Welcome back from that short break. We now take our second insert. The National Youth Commission, with support from the African Development Bank, has on Monday, 16th September 2019, organized a training for various youth organizations with the theme Youth Entrepreneurship and Employment Program at the Global Youth Network for Empowerment and Development of Tengbertown, Freetown. Alfie Barry has the detail.
Youth empowerment has been a major problem for successive governments, as every year, tertiary institutions dole out hundreds of graduates, and many of which lack the requisite skills to fit into the current job market. Therefore, many of them remain job seekers for many years. In order to curb this lingering problem, the National Youth Commission has organized a 5-day training for various youth groups drawn across the country. The aim of the training is to improve youth employability by empowering them with relevant skills required in the job market. Richard Yeboah is the consultant of the YEP program. He spoke more.
Program actually set up by the National Youth Commission to combat unemployment among young people. And so it has 3 components. The components are focusing on really helping young people, especially unemployed graduates, to get job readiness, to be employed. So my company is really about a graduate entrepreneurship program. So we have developed actually a graduate entrepreneurship program, and we are helping other organizations to be trained so that they will be able to help young people to set up their own business. So we are actually in the same process. The first thing that we did is we selected organizations that are already working with the National Youth Commission and who are skilled in entrepreneurship development. And so now today is the coming week is really about the trainer program, where we are training the organization staff to be able to support these young people.
These various youth groups are expected at the end of training to establish their own business model and involve other youth, as according to the consultants, they will be monitored over time as to whether they will implement these ideas that they have been taught. Melvina English is one of the participants and also representing African Foundation for Development Sierra Leone. She lauded the commission for such venture. What is she expected to take out of this training?
this is the start, and we are here to learn new things. As the facilitator Richard rightly said, the BDS sector, the ecosystem, everybody has his own methodology. But with specific to this HIP program, they want something that is going to be generic in all areas, that is Makeni, Kenema and Freetown, where they are doing the pilot phase. So we are here to learn new methodologies, and we are sure that we are going to learn and try to implement it to these students, wherein they can change their mindset of being job seekers and job creators, and it will help in the development of Sierra Leone in the long run.
This program is just a pilot program, as at the end of this project, the various participants will put forward their various business models and they will be assessed by the Commission, and the necessary support will be given. For Star TV News, compiled by Alfie Barry, I am Alice Pierre reporting.
Thank you very much, Alfie Barry, for that comprehensive report. We come back to you, Patrick. Looking at Radicals as a social club and now Target Theatre, what is the connection between both, and what is the importance of this collaboration?
To start with, Radicals Foundation has evolved and moved from a social club, on campus, to a foundation. We just wanted to make sure we're clear on that. So we just make sure the relationship, of course, has been there to start with. I'm also a member of the Radicals, the Enviable Radicals Club, now the foundation, and it's a foundation for democracy and human rights all over. So I think they are also very enviable non-profit organizations because they have been doing a couple of stuff. So that's one of the reasons Target Theatre decided to see if we can try and work around the possibility of helping a certain situation in the country.
Okay, so why are you targeting rape victims?
I'm not very happy saying it. I'm not very proud to say it, but the issue of rape has been a very embarrassing situation in the country lately. I mean, while I was doing my studies over there, listening to the news, talking to my friends, I feel much more very embarrassed because when they listen to the news and ask me what's going on, we hear about rape every day. That has been a lot of pressure, in my mind. It doesn't show, but I feel very sad. So rape victims, I think it's one thing we need to look at. Even though the government or the people in charge of making these laws are working on strengthening the law, implementing the law, we also thought that it is but fair to also think about the victims themselves, not just punishing those who rape, strengthening the laws, but what about those who are really suffering the trauma and all that, the pains of being raped? So we thought it felt like we should just involve a story about rape, which is there. One of the stories we'll be doing on the 14th of December called Ponkino Repiet, and it's about rape and what really is happening out there, how people try to cover up these things, how people do it, how people get away around it, and how the police or the authorities try to make sure they fix these problems. So we thought that yes, we need to talk about this rape and find a way, in collaboration with the Radicals Foundation, of course, to settle this problem.
Okay. It would seem to many people that theatre is all about amusement. How could this be used as healing process through informative ideas?
Yes, it is not only entertainment. The story we are showing is what is really happening out there in our communities, in our villages, when people try to cover up rape because they know the person involved, because they're afraid what might happen, because they think they can just settle it down there. So we're really trying to make sure the audience out there sees the reality that is happening and sees the need to change this stuff, and also entertain them at the same time, because we're not just trying to go like a static robot talking and just communicating, but these communications are going to be entertainment driven, and the information is going to be there, and we're also going to make sure they come out of that hall refreshed and with good ideas to move on.
Okay, so what institutions are you working with to be able to identify these rape victims and to have a fair process?
Presently, we're working with the Radicals Foundation for Human Rights and Democracy. We're partnering with the Radicals Foundation to raise this fund, and we're also working with Lawrence University, of course, one of our sponsors. It's Lawrence University, where I come from, the theatre department, and the British Council, of course, is also ready to just fall behind our back and make sure these things happen. And we're also going to make sure we involve the Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs, because they are the government body that knows what is happening. They have this data, comprehensive data of rape victims with the family support unit and all that. So we go right around the country, get those names, those numbers in place, and then we try to do and impact how we feel it's better and they will appreciate.
Okay, so taking this advocacy across the country, would that be one of the strategies to help these people?
Yes. The idea for helping the rape victims is not only limited to Freetown. We are going to do the play first in Freetown on the 14th of December at the British Council Hall, and then we are going to tour with the entire team all over the country. We are going to tour Kenema, Bow, McKinney, Port Loko. We are going to tour. That is one of the reasons why every single donations that come in and a single sale ticket, 50% of all that goes to the rape victims and 50% stays with Target Theatre because of these tours to move around and all that. Because remember, we're just a non-profit organization. We're not doing this for a lot of stuff.
Okay. Continue to stay with me, Patrick. Let me come over to you, Fantasy Weed. I'm still enjoying this swag of yours.
Thank you.
Fantasy. What new projects have you been working on concerning women and girls?
Concerning women and girls, yeah. Sure, I'm still in my sleeping mood, so I have to,
Have to wake up.
Yes, I have to wake up. I've got my performing art company, and which is called Sarah Unity Players, and in partnership with Purposeful Production. Purposeful is an organization that focuses on, it's a feminist organization, and all of the 99.9% of their workers are female. Yes, and they're very competent in doing what they do, and we've been partnering with them, and because this is something that I've been doing. And when people came, they go like, we're looking for organization that are 99.9% female and that have been doing something. So I shoot for it, shot my shot, and I got accepted. So partnering with them, and so as I'm sitting here, I've got two safe spaces at FSSG. Secondary school for girls, and I've got one in GSS, which is up to like 16 girls, and then also I've got one for SSS, which is up to like 16 girls also, and I've got another safe space at Mafengbe community, which is a very I can't say should I say disaster prone or prone environments for gender-based violence, and this is a community that I've been working. I've been working there for a very long time, even before I started partnering with Purposeful Productions. So I've got a safe space there. So the safe space is for these groups are for a safe space where girls could come and talk about their problems, and also where we get to talk to these girls and bring in experts where they get to talk to these girls about issues affecting them, and we get to teach them teach them into acting and singing. And we organized a show last year for the 16 Days of Activism, wherein they staged a performance where they get to sing and act in relation with, we call it edutainment, so it's education through entertainment. So in July 31st, yes, so these 10 girls from Mafengbe community, wherein it's not just a safe space, it's also a place where we get to teach these girls creative art, where they get to be able to make things like what I'm wearing, bangles and ornaments and that sort of thing, and accessories for your house. And these girls also learn how to dance, like the cultural dance and that sort of thing. So they're using that now. These girls get invited to other events wherein they get to go dance and perform for people, and they get to get money from it. So in partnership with Purposeful Production, these girls graduated, and we get to give them funds where they get to start their own little business and be able, because most of them are out of school. basically. And you know, what got to me was that, like, the day that the girls were graduating, one of them, okay, we had the mentor, and he was like, she was supposed to do the vote of thanks, and then one of them came to me and go like, Fantasy, can I do the vote of thanks? And I'm like, why? He was like, no, I want to surprise you, like, can I do it? And I'm like, okay, no problem. And when she went on stage and she was like, I'm so excited about, you know, this whole program that Fantasy brought here. You know, before this program, I wasn't at home. I was sleeping with guys, like boys. This girl is like 16. You know, these guys will, you know, sometimes they will take me, you know, at nights, they will get me go, you know, they will get me go to man them, you know. That's how she used to survive, you know, sleeping with men and that sort of thing. So she said now, okay, now because of this program, I've stopped doing that. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm more than that. Now I have my own, I'm going to have my own money and start my own business. I can do things. I don't need to. I cried, like, literally, but I couldn't let her see me, like, cry. And that got to me. So for me, it was like, okay, try to help people. I didn't know it was that deep for them. So you know, things like that it got to me, but I'm really, really excited. It's not easy. If anyone tells you that it's easy, like working with girls, even the ones in school and the one out of school, hell no, it's not. Something that's supposed to be 3 months, you could take 6 or 7 months doing that. But at the end of the day, it's worth it. You know, it was stressful. It was pulling me because most of the time I wasn't in Sierra Leone, and I got to have, you know, all of those, my field workers. I have to be calling and doing all of that. It was stressful. But on the 31st of July, after I saw everything, the display and acting and everything they've made, I forgot about all of those. Seriously.
Okay, Fantasy, you're dealing with women and girls. What's your take on the show that they want to bring up?
It's an amazing idea. Coming from me, I don't like to refer to myself as a victim of rape. I'm a survivor of rape because I've been raped multiple times. So what he is doing is amazing. It's great because, trust me, the culture of people saying, no talk, you understand, no talk, because if you talk just on a family name, who can shame say, you know, then go rape you. Excuse me, I know it's an English program, but I just want to go back to what people say. Like, if you go talk say just to that man in a rape, you know, you get for shame because now you don't go sleep with, you know, that sort of thing where people can like, that's a case where someone said, that man because it be like, you know, I will tell you, it makes so it can't do this thing. People have all of those things and they don't think it's wrong. It's a norm because it has been happening for ages. So to have something that will, you know, throw light on it and go like, no, that's not correct. It's not a norm. It's not normal for something like that. It's wrong for something like that. I think it's it's an amazing idea. And me, I'm wishing them like the best of. It's not going to be easy because at the end of the day, you've got to have people that will come to you and go like, I beg back, see what would always call for and they know better than let and go this, better than that. They're going to talk. They're not going to talk all of that, and don't expect like even people close to you, they're going to give you like pat. No, they're going to be talking as if like for you to stop doing what you're doing.
They don't appreciate good things.
No, they don't. Because seriously, because most of the time, you get these people raping females, raping women, raping girls, and at the end of the day, you go see the pity where they rape them. Mama force them and go talk to them and go can. If I see you go talk here, you sabi that me. At the end of the day, when you take this girl to go to the police or any other thing, they're not gonna talk because their people, their parents or the guardian or whatever, spoon feed them already.
So for them, when they grow up, they're usually traumatized.
I am still am. I've got trust issues because trust me, all these people that be committing all those crimes, they're not strangers. They are people that are close to you. These are people that you know. These are people that you trust as a family. These are people that you're comfortable with. But at the end of the day, they do this thing to you, and you're in shock. Like, oh my God, like how can someone that I trust so much could do this thing to me? And at the end of the day, they go free for it. And at the end of what they do in Sierra Leone is blame the victims. Like, oh, something I close to be sexy. Oh, something I close to be make. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I'm sorry. But, you know, okay. I'm going to start.
Okay, Francis Louise, let's come to Audio Freaka now.
Okay.
How do you feel being the brand ambassador of Audio Freaka? And can you tell us a little bit about what they do?
Amazing. I feel great. I love Africa. I love Sierra Leone. I'm in love with Sierra Leone. And I stopped working 9 to 5 for entertainment. And to get something here, we've never had something in Sierra Leone where an app or platform in Sierra Leone where people just go and listen to your music, where people just go and download your music. And at the end of the day, when you get to certain amounts, you get paid for it. Never. Has never happened. So when I heard about it, and I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't even know the CEO. I didn't know anyone from them. When I was about to release my spoken word EP, and I started like following them and whatnot, and I'm like, right, this is an African thing, and me, pro-African woman, Sierra Leone 110%, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give them exclusive premiere too.
Does it only cater for established artists or
anyway,
like underground artists invited as well?
On the ground, as long as you've got like one recorded song, you can go on audioafrica.com, create an account, complete your profile, upload your song, whether you want to sell it or you want to just have it there for download and streaming. When you reach certain amount, like for example 1K or 5K, we contact you like, oh my God, like you've got like streaming. Come get it. I think you should. So you see, it's an amazing idea. So I started pushing them. I started posting it, and everybody was thinking like, it's the kind of money that we don't pack for that. I'm like, I don't even know who owns it, but I just know it's a Sierra Leonean. And I started like doing that and that sort of thing. And they go like, oh my God, like we really appreciate what you're doing, and thanks for believing in us, because we've tried so hard. We've been here for like a year, and we've tried so hard in trying to get artists to come on board and that sort of thing. So I just started talking to people. You should try this. You should try this. And the first day that the day they signed me was the first day they actually paid out the first artist that hits 1,000 plays on Audio Africa. And there's a sideline to that. The artist that they actually played, he started singing when I was in high school.
Wow.
And he said, I didn't know, but when he said, hey, I was the one that did this, dance for me, everybody dance for me, with Studio J. And I'm like, what? I cried. I'm an emotional person, so when something gets to me, I get to cry. So, and when he was talking, like, I've never earned this type of money for my music, and I've been doing it for over a decade. That got to me. He honed. So, Audio Africa is like, let's take the advantage. If you don't begin singing it, you won't begin singing it.
I need to get paid. Like, okay, most musicians post their songs on social media after recording it, but I believe that Audio Africa is all about promoting our salon entertainers. Yeah. So in cases like this, what has Audio Africa done, or how are you going to prevent this from happening, so that once they record their songs, it can be live streamed instead of downloaded on WhatsApp?
So now I tell people, because it's not like, not all of us actually gets, get the opportunity of being invited to shows. It's not all of us that actually get the opportunity of saying, come perform for me. They call me all the time. Like they've got events, they'll call me, go perform and this. But trust me, as I'm sitting here, they've got a lot of artists where they spend their money to go to the studio and record their songs. And when they come, they get to spend money to promote these songs, and they don't get this money back. So I tell people, what I tell artists now, I'm talking to the artists, what do you do music for? Do you do music for your friends? Or do you do music for you to have a lot of girlfriends? Or do you do music to have a lot of boyfriends? Well, if you do music and you want your music to go out there, you want to get your money from it. Trust me, when people download your songs on WhatsApp, they don't have one value for it. Because when people go, people like what you're doing, when they go the extra mile to go listen to it. Because when you listen to it, that's I think it's 500 leons per stream or 300 leons per stream. So if you've got like 20 people to stream your music per day, that's money. When it accumulates, you're gonna make money past the way you go spend stuff in a studio. So rephrase from that. And trust me, when people, I can't say like that there's a song that came out yesterday or the day before yesterday, and I heard someone listening to it, and I asked them like, how did she get this music? You go like, I'm going to this website for go download that. I'm like, okay, so you guys could actually do that, but then you'll ask Sierra Leonean artists to send you their music on WhatsApp. So I'm telling all Sierra Leonean artists, no, stop doing that. Upgrade, brand yourself. If you want my music, go stream it. If you want it, go download it. It's on free download. It's on streaming. I'm not selling it. So you could also do that. When you send your music, first of all, when you send audio, say by WhatsApp, say the quality don't go down. If they go play and say, if you go, if you buy like a coach, they waka inside something.
So, Fantasy, let's quickly come to your EP. I think it's going to be released this Friday. Am I correct?
Okay, no, there's a
song.
There's a spoken word that's going to be released this Friday. The EP is out. It's on sale on Audio Africa.
So this spoken word thing, do you plan to have a listening party for it?
Sure, you're in my head. Yeah.
So
After here, I'm going to have a meeting with people to actually set up the dates, because I've had the conversation with the people and they're ready to collaborate on where I'm going to have it. It's going to be a sport where everyone can access, but I don't want people to pay. People have done a lot for me. Like my fans, my supporters and everything, they've done a lot for me. So it's going to be I'm going to invite a lot of people to have this evening, come listen to it, interact, ask questions, Q&A, and Chris. That's something I learned too. There's a couple of times that I've been like going to perform and everything. After each performance, we have Q&A where you get the audience to ask me questions and whatnot. So I want to introduce that here so people could get to ask me questions. So what's the secret behind the EP? What's the secret behind this and that? And the one I'm going to release this Friday is called He Was Nice to Me, and it's about my ordeal with the series of rape and abuse that I've been through.
Okay, so what will be your last message out to viewers?
Believe in yourself. It's not easy. If anyone waits, like tap you in the morning, go like, darling, get out of bed. It's easy. It's this. It's not going to be easy. You're going to be broken. You have stones through you. You're going to go through a lot of things in life. But guess what? At the end of the day, you've got to believe in yourself, because you have to believe in yourself before anyone else can.
Thank you very much, Fantasy. Let me come over to you quickly, Patrick. Do you plan to call on the government to institute stronger and stringent measures to address rape issues in the country?
Yes, like we heard a few months back, the president said rape victims deserve to go life imprisonment. I stand behind that. Like, I stand with rape victims. In my opinion, they should just send them to life imprisonment probably. But I don't have those powers. The legislatures and all that have those powers to implement those laws. What I want to do as an entertainer and a theater arts person, I just want to make sure we educate the entire public on what happened out there, what happens out there in our communities, villages, how people try to cover this stuff, and then the reactions and how it really affects people. I just got to realize that you are a rape victim, and I'm so like I felt I don't know how I felt, but that's some serious stuff. That's one of the reason why Tiger Theatre, we want to make sure, because it's some serious stuff, we want to make sure we employ the services of the veteran actors, because we will be bringing them back on stage to make sure we send a strong message that we want to revive first theater arts in the country, the stage performances, and then we want to make sure we support rape victims through these performances. After the British Council performance, we go to Bow, Kenema, Makeni, Port Loko. We are going to go everywhere to make sure they know what's happening.
Okay, so when and where is this event happening, and what will be your last message to the viewers?
Okay, the event is going to be on the 14th of December. The 14th of December at the British Council Hall. And tickets are out. Tickets have been out. The tickets are going out for 150,000 leons. Remember, the Radicals Foundation is collaborating with Target Theatre to make sure donations that come in for rape victims and ticket sales, 50% of every income coming in is going to rape victims all over the country.
Okay, thank you very much, Patrick, and thank you, Fantasy Suisse, for joining me today.
Thanks,
we'll definitely have you in subsequent editions. Well, viewers, that's all we have for you today, and thank you for watching the Star Good Morning Show. I am your presenter, Sienna Wright. Till tomorrow, have a blessed day.